What's going on, guys? BlowoverBros here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having an amazing Friday. Hopefully you haven't gotten too annoyed by the amount of videos we put out today. But today is right now is the big, this is the big informative video I have been hyping up all day. And yeah, the background gameplay is MWR, or Modern Warfare Master if you don't play Call of Duty. This is my first game of Call of Duty in weeks. So it's not the best, but I did carry the team pretty much. Not carried, but I did top the team. So, enough of that. There's a lot of stuff we want to talk about, but let's get into the very minor stuff first, okay? So, if you're following the BlowoverBros Twitter, that account got reported. Don't know by who, don't know why. I didn't really do anything wrong, nor did any of the other bros that have access to the Twitter. So, we're going to be making a new Twitter. We don't know what it is, and we're going to try getting it back, but no promises. So if you aren't following us and you do want to follow us because we post stuff about the races and other stuff, just use Twitter. Also, when the Season 6 of the Call of Duty Cup Series begins, we'll be having a BlowoverBros website where we'll have updated points, Rookie of the Year standings, schedules for all three series, other stuff that you will not see on the channel, you'll see on the website. So, and the final little minor thing. People have been asking on Twitter, on YouTube, everything, where the Elmer's IndyCar Series went. And the reason there hasn't been a race in like 2 months or however long it's been is because we wanted to end with the other series. And road courses on NR 2003 suck. So we're just going to make it oval for the rest of the season, and there's not going to be Season 2, just because there's not enough differences. And yeah, there's not enough difference between that and the other series, so there's no point in having it. But we're going to finish it. 8 races, 2 off weeks in the next 10 weeks, and it'll end with the other series. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. Alright, let's just start out by saying, if you are new to the channel, you're not going to be able to run in the Call of Duty Cup Series next season. It's as simple as that. What's the point in having 3 series if anyone can break into the Cup Series and do well, you know? Like, sure, that's cool, but what's the point in having lower series if you don't have to climb through them? We're not going to say you have to run trucks and amateur. You only have to run, like if you've never ran before, you're a new subscriber, you'll have to run 1 season with each driver. So if you have 4 drivers, because that's the limit, all 4, if you want them to get to Cup someday, would have to run a full season, either amateur or trucks. So if you're brand new, you can't run. But if you're someone who's already been in amateur or trucks before, or Cup, you can come back and run Cup. Another thing, if you do run Cup and you want to run Cup and you're Cup eligible, you cannot sign that Cup driver up for amateur trucks because we're not allowing Cup drivers to run in those series for points. What we're going to do is whatever team you run for in Cup, if it's a big team and it has an amateur team, there's going to be a special car designated for the Cup drivers for that team, and they'll run part-time. So that works for amateur. And the amateur guys, there will be a special ride designated on the Cup side, but you only get to run 5 races. And there's no guarantee you'll actually complete all 5 or even start 5. You might only start 1. It just depends. It's kind of random. You have to qualify your way in. And that works. You and your teammates will share that ride. So that works for both Cup and amateur in the opposite series. Also, that doesn't work for trucks. But if you do run amateur, you're more than welcome to sign that driver up for trucks. So like, who's someone off the top of my head? I know they have 2. Eli Bright and Jeff Bright. They've had Cynthia Bright in the past. They are all Cup eligible, but if they do go for Cup, they cannot run Eli Bright and Jeff Bright in amateur and trucks. You see what I mean? They could run a new Bob Bright or Jeffrey Bright or Christina Bright in amateur and trucks, just not that guy who's already in Cup. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys understand why we're doing that. I briefly mentioned the All-Star Ride. That's like for RCR, Nick Flood, Nick Ventura, and Isaiah Ford. All 3 made the chase, so they're automatically locked into those cars. If they want, they're guaranteed that ride, but they don't have to take it. They can't run full-time amateur, but they could race for an RCR car in amateur. Just, they split the ride like real-life Cup drivers do. Oh, here's another fun one. There's going to be stat changes next season. This season, they're all on 100. And that's fine and all, but it's not realistic. So if you dominate, if your team does really well this season, there's a good chance that, it's not even a good chance. Like RCR, going back to them, all 3 cars in the chase, pretty high up in the chase too. RCR is going to be one of the best teams next season, but not by so much where there's no point even watching. You know, all the stats are on 100 right now. Well, RCR will still be on 100, and all the top, quote-unquote, top-tier teams will be. And that's not based off real life. That's based off the Season 5 results. So that's like Penske, RCR, Gibbs, I think are the three big ones that I, off the top of my head. So their stats will be at 100. And then like Hendrick Motorsports and Roush will be like 98, 96. For Hendricks, 98, Roush, 96. Everham will probably be like 96 as well because they haven't ran that well. Red Bull will probably be like a 98. It just depends on how well they do. And the stat changes aren't enough to make it be like, well, RCR and Penske can win every race. They might have an advantage, but there's still a very likelihood they get wrecked out. They finish 33rd. You just never know. We're not going to make stat changes so much where it's evident that, oh my, well, they're going to win every race. You know, they could still very likely get last. It just depends. It's not that big of a change. Let's see what the next thing is. Ooh, this is a fun one. And I'm using these guys as an example because they're already doing that. I've tested this with a couple subscribers. If you want, you can own a team next season in the Call of Duty Cup Series, FedEx Amateur Series, or Track Truck Series, or all three. The same team could run it all, like RCR does or Penske does, you know, something like that. But the catch is, it's based off your success. Like Kyle Akers and Adam Akers. I don't know if Adam is, but I know Kyle is. He's going to be starting Akers Racing in the Cup Series, and he's going to have two cars. And the reason he can do that is because he's had a lot of success as a Cup Series driver. Because he's won 2 races this year. He has 3 total. He's second all-time winning as driver. But if you're starting brand new, your stats are going to be lowered. His Akers Racing will probably be like a 92, 93. The lowest will be is 90. The highest is 100, obviously. So it's still competitive. So if you are not Cup eligible, but... Okay, let me try that right. You don't have to be Cup eligible to own a Cup team. You just won't be able to sign yourself up as a driver unless you have a driver that's eligible. So like Ricky Bobby could make a team, and a Ryan Kesey, who's ran a couple of seasons, he could race for him. Just not a Ricky Bobby. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll answer any questions in the comments. And the final thing is, you can also have the All-Star and the rookie rides on, you know, your own team, and you cannot steal another active driver or active car sponsor and number. So like Budweiser, that belongs to EI. 8 belongs to EI. You have to come up with something new. Like you could have like AT&T and number 92 or whatever. And also in the amateur series, we have new manufacturers coming. You can't run those in Cup yet. We have to run them a season. So the available manufacturers will be in the description because I can't really name them right now. I don't even remember off the top of my head. And the final thing is Go or Go Homers. So with all, I mentioned this earlier briefly, with all the new All-Star and rookie teams, just Go or Go Homers, there's going to be 52 cars available. 42 will make the race. But that was basically it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully you guys like this new changes. It just spices it up, and it's new and fresh. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys understand and like it. If you don't like it, let us know, and we can change some stuff if there's enough demand for it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.